Hi, good morning. My name is Arjit Paul, and I'm the trainer for the AI Content Architect course from Uplatz. Today's topic is Prompt Engineering Foundation. So, in this lesson, we are going to master the art of writing effective prompts for AI generated content across blogs, ads, and emails. So we have divided this course into three sections, right? Let me just go to the documentation. We have the entire end-to-end documentation for today's date. Um, Wait, so we are gonna just copy only section one, and we are gonna leave out the rest. So we'll go to section one, we'll copy it. Okay, access is all good. Now we have our ChatGPT inbox where we can use this and we can try to understand in the best way possible. Right. We're going to say, okay, I'm going to say act as an AI expert and help me understand section one of day five. Right, so let's unpack section one of day five, understanding prompt variables like an AI content expert would explain it. What's the goal here? So, learning how to talk to AI effectively, specifically ChatGPT or other generative models. Think of this as learning how to write better instructions to AI so that AI delivers content that feels tailored, useful, and on brand. So we can understand what is a prompt. Let's try to get a good definition of the same. A prompt is simply an instruction you give to the AI. For example, write a tweet about AI in education, but not all prompts are equal. The more detail you add, the better and more aligned the output becomes. Next, we have five core prompt variables. So this is the secret sauce. Here's how we can break it down using the five pillar method. First, we have the role. Who is the AI pretending to be? This frames the mindset. You are a social media strategist. Help the AI adopt domain specific language and thinking. Right. Uh, this is what we can understand in the best way possible. If we go down, we have the context. What does the AI need to understand? We can add background or audience details as well. That will be very, very helpful to us. This is suitable and this is for a sustainable clothing brand targeting eco conscious Gen Z buyers. So we have the task and instruction over here. What do you want it to do? Be crystal clear about the action. Write a blog post outline, summarize this paragraph, create a 3 slide presentation. We have the style and tone. What should it sound like? We can match your brand or platform tone. You can use a conversational, fun tone or professional and data driven. Next, we have constraints where we can add limits for clarity or formatting. These are the points which we need to understand in a very, very careful way. For constraints, You can mention it like max 100 words. We can include bullet points, use emojis, and avoid technical jargon as well. Formula we can have and implement in a simple way where prompt equals role plus content plus task plus tone plus constant. So we can have all these information here. We can have an example prompt using all five. So you are a creative copywriter for a skincare brand. Your audience is a woman aged 30 to 45. We can write a short, humorous Instagram caption about hydration. We can use a playful tone. We can limit to 20 words. Why this works? AI knows who it is. AI knows who it is writing for. AI knows what to create, what voice to use. Word limit keeps it tight. You can have an activity breakdown as well, where you're asked to create 2 pages. You can have for a blog outline. You can also have for a LinkedIn post. But here's a twist. First, we can try without adding role and tone. Then we can try with the following parts as well. You will notice certain things. Right. So what will we notice? You'll notice without them the output feels generic and flat. With them, output feels targeted, brand aligned, and reader friendly. So there is some example comparison as well. So for basic prompt, we have no role and tone. Write a LinkedIn post about remote work. We can have an improved prompt. You are a remote work consultant. Your audience is startup founders. Write a LinkedIn post about staying productive while managing remote teams. Use a direct, insightful tone, max 100 words. See the difference. The difference will be amazing. We have a takeaway as an AI expert as well. So, by mastering these prompt variables, what can we expect? We can save time, we can improve quality, we can scale content creation, maintain brand tone across platforms. All these things can be implemented in the best way possible. That's why section 1 is all about understanding prompt variables. So, section 1 we can understand as understanding prompt variables, where prompts equals to instructions to the AI. We have the key components: role, context, task, tone, constraints. We have better prompts, which leads to clear on-brand outputs. All these things have been keeping us understandable in the best way possible. We have the 5 key prompt variables in form of role: who should the AI pretend to be? For context, who is the target audience? For task, what should the AI generate? For tone, we can have what should the output feel like. So we have all these key prompt variables, and we can understand all these things in the best way possible. So we have all these prompts for role, for context, um, and we can have the tone, the constraints at the last, where we have word count, format, structure as well. Okay. So this is the importance of this slide. We can change this and we can have the prompt formula. Right. So we have the prompt formula in this manner where we can take this as an example and let's say help me understand this slide. So for the left icon, uh, we have the formula itself. In left icon, we got the formula where we got the prompt equal to role plus context plus task plus tone plus constraints in the best way possible. This is the foundational structure of a high performing prompt. So the role can be who is the AI pretending to be? For context, what should it know before answering? Um, for task, what should it do? The tone, how should it sound? And we should have all this understanding in the best way possible. So in task A, it has what should it do? For tone, how should it sound? For constraints, any limits like word count, format, emoji, etc. So this is where we can understand as a right icon, we got the full example prompt. You're a witty brand copywriter. We can create 3 Instagram captions for a hydration product. We can limit 15 words each. We can break this down using the formula variable role context. Can break this down into using the formula where we have the variable and under variable what it says in the prompt. You are a witty brand copywriter. For context, it can be implied writing for a hydration project or Instagram, right? So all this example does have example prompts as well. For task, we can create 3 Instagram captions. For tone, we have witty. For constraints, we got 15 words each. Hmm. So why this slide matters? This is our go-to cheat sheet when craving and when crafting prompts for social posts, blog content, emails, presentations, and product descriptions. Uh, So this is what we can understand, right? So this is where we can understand and how we know that AI helps us generate social posts, blog content, emails, presentations, and product descriptions. Because it helps generate better output every single time. And it is reusable across industries and platform. Right, so this is where we can have such a great knowledge of what we are doing and make the best use of our understanding. Right. That ends the slides of the prompt formula. And now we are into activity where we are building two prompts. Right, let's understand this slide with example. Right. So this is what we are having, slide 2 activity build two prompts. So now this is a hands-on task to help us practice what we have just learned here. So in left icon we have the prompt 1 blog outline. We are creating a prompt to generate a blog outline. Here's the example. Right. Give me a second. Right. So we are having this breakdown and we are having a prompt example like your blog strategies for a tech startup. The startup targets Gen Z entrepreneurs. We can create a blog outline on 5 AI tools to launch a business in 2025. We can use a motivation and energetic tone. We can limit outline to 6 sections. Right, right. If we just scroll down, we can break this down into role, context task, tone, and constraint. The middle icon prompt 2 can be about a LinkedIn post. So you're now crafting a prompt for a LinkedIn post, a more professional and audience targeted channel. As a prompt example, you are a career coach writing for mid level professionals. Your audience is exploring tech transitions. We can write a 50-word LinkedIn post about the shift from traditional resumes to AI powered portfolios. We can use an informative and reassuring tone, and we can include one question to boost engagement. This is what we can understand, and here we can also have the breakdown, and there we can understand in the best ways possible. So the role can be of a career coach, right? The context can be of writing for mid-level professionals. The task can be to write a 150-word LinkedIn post. The tone can be informative and reassuring. The constraints can be 150-word, then one engagement question. The right icon is use all 5 variables. So this is the core instruction. where we can make sure every prompt includes 5 building blocks. Under this, we got role, context, task, tone, and constraint. Skipping even one can lead to flat generic results. That is what we can understand. So, why this activity matters? We can understand all these things in the best way possible, and that can be very, very helpful for us to understand why do we need to make sure that these things should matter and these things are important as well. So, by doing this, you train your brain to think in structured prompt language. That is the most important part. You unlock better quality AI outputs for blogs, posts, scripts, or even presentations. You start treating prompts as repeatable frameworks, not one off magic tricks. So, that is what we can understand in the best and simplest way possible. So, this is the meaning, this is the innate understanding which we can get. Just give me 1 second. Right, so this is how we are able to understand this, and we can finally understand how we can initially train our brain in a structured prompt language, how we can unlock better quality AI output for blogs, posts, scripts, even presentations, how we can start treating prompts as repeatable frameworks, not one of magic tricks. So we can build 2 prompts, one for blog outline, one for LinkedIn post, and we can try to use all 5 variables in our formula. Great. So we have come to the end of section 1. Now we have going to start with section 2, and we have the end-to-end documentation which we will use for section 2. Right. So we can have a section overview why format specifying prompting matters. Right. So that is very, very important to understand. Even though you have learned how to construct prompts using the 5 pillar formula, which is role plus context plus changes plus tone, right? So here you're teaching AI how to think like a copywriter, marketer, or blogger for different use cases, right? We can also understand all these things where AI is been able to be acted as a copywriter, as marketer, in some cases as even an AI expert, right? So AI is blending into all these roles, and this five pillar formula is helping us very much, like role plus context plus task plus tone plus constants, right? Each content type behaves differently based on its audience, length, and platform. You're not just giving instructions, you're teaching AI how to think like a copywriter, marketer, or blogger. Now, you can also explore the three most common content formulas you'll automate with AI. One second. Oh my, okay. So we have blogs, we have ad copy, and we have emails, right? So if we just scroll down, we can have all the options as well. So we have the block prompts, which can be informative and structured. So for purpose, what do we understand? Blogs educate, explain, or narrate. They need logical flow, sectioning, which can be intro, body, conclusion, and a consistent tone. It's ideal for SEO, authority building, and storytelling. For example, prompt, we can write a 500 word blog post for beginner podcasters. We can include an intro, we can include three key points with subheadings and a conclusion. We can have a breakdown in form of role, which is implied. So AI is acting like a content marketer or blog writer. We have the context, which is audience equal to beginner podcaster. As a task, we can write a 500 word blog. For the tone, can be approachable yet can be expert, like a friendly teacher. As constraints, it can be structured with three subheadings. For variations, we can turn this outline into a full blog post. We can summarize this article into a blog in 300 words. We can rewrite this blog for a Gen Z audience. As a tip, we can use follow ups, like we can add a story or personal anecdote to the intro. We can include three SEO keywords. We can add a metaphor about podcasting. We have ad copy prompts, which can be short, punchy, persuasive, and we can have multiple purpose for the same. So, ad copy is built to capture attention, deliver a hook, and drive action fast. Think scroll stopping headlines, benefits driven text, emotional language, and urgency. So we can have an example prompt. You are a Facebook ads copywriter. Write three headlines for productivity app targeting freelancers. Keep it under 12 words. Make them scroll stopping. For breakdown, we have the role, context, task, tone, constraints. So for role, we have Facebook ads copywriter. For context, we have productivity app, freelancers. For task, we have three short headlines, right? And also, we can have constraints. It should be less than 12 words. It should be scroll stopping. For variation, we can write add copy using ADA, which is attention, interest, desire, action. Right. We can turn this blog post into a Facebook ad. This is where we can understand all these things. This is where we can improve our work. This is where you can make sure that you stay ahead of the curve. We can have so many prompt enhancers for ad copy where we use rhymes or wordplay. Start with a question or shocking stat. Make it sound like a friend giving advice. Right. So we have so many options as well, and we can also have email prompts in form of clear, warm, action-oriented as well. For purpose, emails should feel personal, be easy to scan, and guide the reader to an action, like signing up, clicking a link, or replying. For example, prompt, we can welcome email for a new course subscriber, include three benefits of the course, and clear CTA to log in. We can have a breakdown as well, where we can have the role for email marketers, and we can have email marketer or course creator. For context, we can now have subscriber to a course. For task, we can write a welcome email. For tone, we can have warm and encouraging. For constraints, include three benefits plus CTA. For a pro tip, you can tell GPT to match your brand's tone by adding, right? We can match the tone of the email. We can paste sample email. So this keeps the brand voice consistent across all communication. You can have prompt enhancers for email where we can start a question. We can use a metaphor like unlock your digital classroom. Make it feel like it's written by a real person. Use contractors, sign off. Okay, so this is where you can understand in the best way possible as well, right? For activity, we have one idea and three formats. Right. So we can write a 600-word blog post titled Five Ways AI Can Save Solopreneurs 10 plus hours a week. You can use a friendly, practical tone, include subheadings, and examples as well. As an ad prompt, you are a digital ads copywriter. Create three Google ad headlines and two descriptions for an AI assistant tool for solopreneurs. You can keep headlines under 30 characters and descriptions under 90. You can emphasize time saving. For email prompt, you are a product marketer writing a launch email to solopreneurs. You can introduce your new AI tool to automate admin tasks. We can include three benefits and a CTA to start free trial. You can use a motivated and personal tone. So, what you will observe. So, even though the message is the same, each format uses different lengths. Just give me 1 second. Right. Sorry for the delay. I think someone was at the door. The audio, I think, is fine. So, what will we observe from this? So, even though the message stays across same, and even though we use different filters, we use different length, we have unique structure, it requires tweaks in tone and it requires different CTA style as well, right? So that is exam, and that is very, very important to understand. This exercise builds your multi-format storytelling muscle, which is crucial for scaling content across platforms. As a key takeaway, you have different formats, equal different strategies, right? We can use the same topic to build format specific prompts. We can layer in prompt enhancers to boost engagements. Mastering this makes you a 360-degree content creator powered by AI. Right? So, this is what we can understand from section 2. So, format changes how a prompt should be written. Block can be a long form contact, and where the mm, prompt should be very, very long than, for any other type. The email should be structured. For ad, it should be short plus catchy. So we can have some block prompt example as well. Let me understand this with examples and outcome. Let's break down the block prompts slide like an AI content expert using the example, practical variations, and expected outcomes. For slide breakdown, we got block prompts. The goal is to generate long form, structured, high value content using a prompt designed specifically for blog writing. We have the example prompt from slide where we can write a 500-word blog for beginner podcasters. We can include the intro, three subheads, and a conclusion. The tone can be expert but friendly. You can break this down using the 5 variable prompt formula. So, we can again talk about this formula: role, context, task, tone, and constraints. Role can be implied like you are a blog writer or content expert. For context, it can be beginner podcasters are the audience. For task, we can write a 500-word blog. For tone, it can be expert but friendly, like a mentor, not a professor. For constraints, we can structure it into intro plus three subheadings plus conclusion. How AI will respond. So here's an example output structure from ChatGPT using this prompt. For title, we can start strong, a beginner's guide to podcasting. The intro can be podcasting is booming, but where do beginners even start? This blog covers the essential first steps to launch your voice into the world. Choosing the right gear without breaking the bank. So you don't need a $500 mic. USB mics like Blue Yeti or Samsung Q2O are beginner friendly and sound professional. We can structure or we can start with a hook. We can keep it conversational and always wrap up with a CTA. Right. And structure your episode like a pro, right? Where we can start with a hook, keep it conversational, and always wrap up with a CTA. A 20 to 30-minute format video works best for most niches. Right. So this is where we can have our understanding in the best way possible. We can start with the hook, keep it conversational. We can edit and publish with free tools where um, we can use free tools like Audacity or Descript. Anchor and Spotify for podcasters make distribution easy. As a conclusion, podcasters isn't just for pros anymore. With the right tools and mindset, anyone can launch and grow their show. So, what can be the outcome of this prompt? The benefit is can be fast blog generation, and for description, can be you go from idea, which is structured content in one prompt. Then we have voice consistency as well, which we can understand. We have SEO ready structure where the subheadings make it scannable and rankable on search engines. We also have reusability where you can reuse the same format with slight tweaks for new YouTubers. We can have prompt variations, which we can definitely try out. Right, so hmm, how we can make this blog more playful with emojis and pop culture references, that is also pretty important. We can summarize this blog into 5 slide LinkedIn carousel, right? We can add 3 word phrase for SEO and make the headings more clickable. As a pro tip, if you are running a blog or newsletter, the single prompt becomes a template. You can save this in Notion or Google Docs and swap in the new audience types, new topics, new tones. New audience types can be creators, designers, freelancers. New topics can be time management, AI tools, and branding. New tones can be witty, bold, spiritual, Gen Z friendly. So all these things are very, very important. Under this, we got new audience types, we got new topics, and we got new tones. For new audience types, we can have creators, designers, freelancer. For new topics, we have time management, AI tools, branding. For new tones, we got witty, bold, spiritual, Gen Z friendly. We have ad copy prompts with prompt example. You are a Facebook ads copywriter. Create three ad headlines, 12 words max for a productivity app for freelancers. We're going to understand this slide as well. Absolutely. So we can dive into ad copy prompts and we can break this slide down. First, we have goal to generate short, attention grabbing ad headlines that stop the scroll and drive click, especially on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or Google Ads. We have prompt example from the slide. So you are a Facebook ad copywriter. We can create three ad headline, 12 words max for a productivity app for freelancers. We can break this prompt using the five prompt variables. First, we have the prompt variable, and here we have the role. You are a Facebook ads copywriter. It gives GPT a persona to adopt. For context, for a productivity app for freelancers, it tells GPT the audience and product. For a task, we can create three ad headlines where we clearly define the deliverable. For tone, we have implied tone, which is engaging, which is direct, and which is persuasive as well. For constraints, we have it as 12 words max, where we keep it concise, like the real world ad copy. So we have the sample AI output for this prompt. We can get more done even on our worst day. For freelancers, this app cuts your admin time in half. For stop procrastinating, we can start earning in the best way possible because that is going to be very, very beneficial for us. How we are adaptable and how we are able to earn in the best way possible, in the best manner. How it's helping us earn and be productive is very, very important. You can also have variations to elevate this prompt. So you can upgrade your prompt to experiment with different techniques or frameworks. You can use a copywriting framework, so you can use the ADA model, for, which is attention, interest, desire, action, to write three Facebook ad headlines. So we can have the ADA example headlines in form of stop wasting hours, where we can discover smarter workflows, right? We can imagine finishing by 2 p.m. daily. It is possible. We can start our free trial and also take control of our entire day. And that is very, very important to understand. That is something which we need to locate, and this is something which we need to implement as well. We can also try prompt enhancers where you can spice up your ad copy with this extras, where we can use emojis and casual tone. You can make one version Gen Z friendly. You can include a power verb in each headline. You can make it FOMO driven, which is fear of missing out. For activity, we can try changing the product while keeping the structure. We can have product, we can have prompt example, we can have fitness app. Prompt example can be you are a copywriter, where we can create 3 headlines for a fitness app for busy moms. For online course, you are a Google Ads copywriter. You can write 3 punchy headlines for a course on time management. Then we have digital planner where we can act as a witty ad writer, where we create headlines for a digital planner that boost daily focus. So now we can understand what is the outcome of this prompt. We have to understand the result and value. So the result is fast ad copy generation, the value, it's save hours spent brainstorming headlines. As a result, we have scroll stopping phrases. The value is getting attention in a crowded feed. As a result, we have reusable structure. The value it has is it uses the same framework for any product or audience. Then we have A/B testing ready. And here, as you can understand, we can get 3+ variations to test against each other for performance. That is something which we can understand in the best way possible. And this is how we can talk about ad copy prompts as well. Next, we understand email prompts where we have a prompt email. Write a welcome email for a course subscriber. We can include benefits and very strong CTA. In activity, we have one topic, 3 formats. Topic can be AI for solopreneurs. We can create prompts for a blog, ad, and email using the same voice. We can observe how structure, tone, and CTA varies. Next, we got section 3, testing and optimizing output. So for section 3, we have end-to-end documentation, which we can use. Help me understand section 3 end-to-end. Section 3 talks about testing and optimizing for output quality. So here, even when you repeat the exact prompt, we can understand the results can vary because AI models like ChatGPT are probabilistic, right? They predict next words based on productivity and probability. So what are the key factors that affect the output? Prompt clarity, word order, prompt length, specificity, GPT settings. For descriptions, we have vague prompts confuse the model, clear equal to better results. For word order, saying friendly and short versus short and friendly can subtly shift tone. Prompt length, we have too short equals generic output, too long equals diluted focus. Specificity, we have adding audience tones and CTA guides the AI better. GPT settings can be temperature, control randomness, or memory if on plus, also impact outcomes. How to test prompts effectively? Think like a copy chief, right? This is what we can understand. As we can try step by step. We can change one variable at a time where the original tone can be professional, test can be make it friendly, but still credible. We can ask for multiple variations. As a prompt, you can give me three versions. As a result, you can have the A, B, C test. You can use feedback loops, for example, where we rewrite this email to sound more human and include urgency. Right. For iteration frameworks, this is the core loop professional prompt engineers use. So we got prompt, output, critique, revise, and repeat. For real world example, we have prompt one, write a short email inviting users to a webinar. Right, right. As an output, we have dear user, you're invited to our upcoming webinar on Thursday. Prompt 2, you are an SAS marketer as well. And here we can have our understanding, we can have our benefits in the best way possible. So, what does this quality mean in prompt results? We have a quality marker, clarity, relevance, tone align, and actionable as well. Under this, we have what it looks like. Clarity, easy to understand, there's no fluff. For relevance, it speaks directly to your target audience. For tone align, it matches your brand voice. It is fun, formal, edgy, um, etc. For actionable, we have it includes CTA, next step, or takeaway. So this is what we can understand by testing and optimizing input, right? So we have some other activities as well. So for activity, we have A/B prompt testing. Prompt A is you are copywriter. We can write an email to welcome a new customer. Prompt B is variant. You are a friendly, witty startup founder. Write a short 60-word welcome email with one emoji. We can paste both into a Google Doc, or we can ask a peer, which one would you open if it hit your inbox? This simple A/B text reveals how uh, tone, length, and instructions shape quality. What you will have by the end of this section, we had to understand this. You can write structured prompts with all five variables. You can design prompts for blog, ad, and email content. We can test, critique, and improve output iteratively. You can build a prompt bank in Notion docs for repeated use. As a homework, you can have the prompt engineering challenge, which can be practical as well as fun. What can we do? You can pick a product, service, or niche topic. For example, AI for fitness. We can write three prompts. It can be blog, it can be ad, or it can be email. Right? We create two versions of each with different tone and length. We can save the best results in your Notion prompt vault. We can share one version publicly and tag it with AI content architect. As a final tip from AI content expert, prompting isn't about being perfect. It's about iterating with intention. Every revision gives you sharper content, faster delivery, and stronger brand voice. Right? So for section 3, testing and optimizing output is very, very important. Even with great prompts, we need testing. We can test one variable at a time. We can ask AI to improve its own responses. Now we can also understand how to test effectively. We can try two-tone variations. We can add or remove constraints. We can ask GPT for three options. We can use revision prompts like make it shorter, more casual. We can have a prompt iteration framework where we got prompt, output, critique, revise, and repeat. You can optimize until your content fits the voice, audience, and format you want. As homework for day 5, we can create three prompts for one topic, which is blog, ad, and email. You can test two versions of each. We can save the best versions in your prompt bank. We can share results using AI Content Architect. So, this is what we can understand from today's lesson. Until then, thank you so much.